I'd like to welcome in now former FBI agent Stuart Kaplan. Stuart, thank you for your time. I'm obviously sorry that we are talking about what is yet another tragic situation. We heard the sheriff there describing this as evil. What is happening right now in this investigation?
Well, clearly, first, it's obviously a very sobering reminder to all of us that, unfortunately, in this day and age, we send our children off to school, and it certainly, as it indicated today, is not necessarily the safest place for them to be. One of the things that caught my attention is the quick response from the federal counterparts, that being the FBI and the ATF. Generally speaking, this would be a local law enforcement scenario supported by those resources if, in fact, requested to the FBI and the ATF. The fact that the FBI is there and ATF is there from the beginning, it is possible. I know that Georgia has had a very difficult time the last couple of years with gang activity. And I'm just wondering if, in fact, there's any indication as to whether or not this may be some sort of gang-related type of scenario. I know that the individual who's in custody is of school age, and so obviously we're going to need to figure out what and who he's about. Obviously, the FBI, ATF, and local law enforcement is basically going through everything they can figure out about this individual and certainly find out if anybody knew about this in advance and unfortunately didn't go to the authorities, because that's one of the big things that I've always come on your program and advocated for, that especially in these school type of scenarios where social media sometimes plays a very important role after the fact. And sometimes we see that there were classic signs that unfortunately were ignored. If you see something, say something. So these are the type of things that over the next couple hours into the next couple of days, we'll learn a lot more about what the motive was and who the intended targets were.
You know, and Stuart, the fact that you zeroed right in on the fact that the federal authorities are involved. When you do have federal, state, and local, how do they all work together? How do they coordinate what is a very complicated investigation?
Well, certainly after 9/11, and look, 9/11 going back to 2001, law enforcement started to realize that it is much more effective to work in a type of task force scenario, and that is a unification and a seamless effort with local, state, and federals coming together and working on those major crime initiatives. And certainly in Georgia, as I touched upon, gang activity is a major initiative. It's a major problem throughout the state of Georgia. And so you have these type of task force scenarios on the local, state, and federal levels. They work extremely well, hand in glove. They have a common focus. They use a common database. They have the assets, the resources that collectively they can lean on. And that is why it's impressive, certainly at the very early stages, to see the FBI and ATF on the ground initially, immediately after the calls go out that there's an active shooting scenario at a school. That seems to maybe indicate there may be some indication here that this was something that may have been initiated, meaning that the task force itself on the federal, state, and local level may have been looking at some problems in this particular area, and that is why they're there assisting in the investigation.
And Stuart, when there are these multiple agencies, is it safe to assume that the feds take the lead?
And that's a great question. And so generally speaking, that's going to come down, now that we have someone in custody, that's going to be something that's going to have to be sorted out on the prosecutorial level. You have the state attorney's office as well as the United States attorney's office. Obviously, for something to be federally prosecuted, we must establish a federal crime, meaning if in fact this person crossed state lines, or if there are violations on the federal level with respect to being in possession of illegal weapons, that may establish federal jurisdiction. Generally speaking, they stay on the state level. But with that being said, again, in a task force scenario, while the FBI may seem to be the lead agency, I can tell you in these task force scenarios, there are no egos out there. It will be a very fluid, collaborative effort on the local, state, and federal level.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.